Today's video, we're going to do something very different than what we normally do on the channel. I am now over a year doing the YouTube dream. I'm putting the stock experience, life experiences, investing experiences on the YouTube, which I never thought I would ever do this. If you had said to me, years ago I would be on YouTube doing videos, I would have said not a chance, not for me at all. And you'll see what I'm talking about because we're going to have a rewind. A year ago I kind of did my very first video, although I didn't officially really start YouTube until January. I stuck the toe in the water. This time last year I was getting laser surgery on Friday the 13th, so I wore glasses, which you'll see in this video. And also a few days after that surgery I then moved into our fourth home. So you can imagine where the head was at, a lot of moving parts going on. And for anyone that maybe lacks motivation, trust me, there's never a good time to start something new. You just gotta do it if you feel it's right. So that's my advice. If you're putting off or procrastinating on anything or any of this, I'm waiting until January to start, don't do that. Just do it now, start and make things happen for yourself. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope, of course, you're all well. We're going to look at a video that I had done this time last year. It was on growth ETFs is what I called them. ETFs that I felt had huge gains potential. And I went through and I've watched this video again and it's a bit cringy. I definitely don't have my sort of swagger perhaps that I have now. But the knowledge was there, and we'll see if I was right with these three ETFs. And I feel that I might as well promote these ETFs again because I do think that they're good. But the question is, did we beat the banks? Stocks can be great winners, but they can also leave you absolutely gaping. So you can see I'm still using the same memes here, like incredible. But yeah, longer hair, glasses. Obviously, the setup was in my old house. What you don't see here on the other side, this is on an ironing board I'm using because a lot of our stuff was packed up because we were moving house. So yeah, that's just a bit of insight there. All right, the first one on the list is iShares Global Clean Energy, ticker symbol INRG. This is one of the very I remember this camera I had, it flickered from time to time. It was horrible to me. So what is iShares Global Clean Energy? It's an ETF that's an absolute sexy beast, and the performances don't lie. On the year, it's 85% up. And you can see in the last previous 2 years that it has really taken off. And that's because the governments, countries, everybody is moving towards a carbon zero, environmental friendly options to procure energy. Sustainable futures for our children. I was conscious, balls deep in this ETF, I was conscious that I was getting done for copyright, that's why that big blur is there. Television, advertising clean energy, solar panels, electricity from wind, with many companies signing up to 2030 to reduce the carbon footprint. As you can see, there is some serious dollar in net assets. The fund manager's BlackRock Asset Management, very reputable. A PE ratio of 33.09. Sexy. I look at some of the top 10 holdings, some of them you won't have heard of, but these are forward-thinking companies that are based in the industry that I believe in the next 10 years is only going to prosper. Notable ones are the top listing in Plug Power for 5.6% of the weight, Ørsted 4.8%, Siemens, First Solar, just to name a few. Another reason we know how all they have done over the year, absolutely throbbed. Biden's plan was to bring forward clean energy incentives. Following his recent victory over Donald Trump, happy days. Clean energy is going to lead the way for America, who have a lot of catching up to do. A lot of effort within these videos, the footage and stuff like that. Just because I lack confidence in the camera as well, I didn't want my face on the screen. Biden's victory will only serve to accelerate the shift, with the president-elect pledging at least $2 trillion in climate-related and infrastructure investments over the next 4 years. So how can this ETF not throb if there's $2 trillion being pumped in, boys and girls? With the UK target of 2030, Biden has set out 2035, again tying in with the fact that we have lost 4 years of growth due to Donald Trump. And with 2050 being net zero, imagine that net zero by 2050. If that's achieved, unbelievable for the environment and unbelievable for your portfolio. Rock hard. Now it's science. Solid as a rock. So INRG was the ticker symbol. We go to this. So we'll just check. Did the video on the 26th of November. So we're going to pull up the day chart and we're going to see from the 26th of November where we would be if we had a bought then. So like I said, it's just a rough guide. You'd be up, say, 20%. A lot of that gains just came recently. I kind of got myself out of the woods here because if we had a bought up until October, so about a month ago, you would have been even monies. But we've seen huge rises, and likelihood is, obviously, me being a swing trader, I would have probably definitely have taken profits here. And let's just zoom in. You know, the sell symbol would have came in sort of around here, and we would have 40%. And we would have been out and missed all this dropping. But that aside, someone that's just holding, that was the purpose of it. Someone just to hold long would be up 20%, and that is why you hold things long, because you know it had a huge rise, a big pullback, and within that, you know, you would be averaging in, and you probably would be bringing your average price in and around these types of levels. So you would have got a nice gain on that. Let's see what the next one is.
The one I want to focus on today is ARK Disruptive Innovation. The title probably gives it away. It's about disrupting the future, things that are game changing. Now, the first thing I will say about ARK Invest is they're actually not available to invest in Europe.
They are now. You can actually get these on eTorro, and there's a link down there for eTorro. Skipping this here, not interested in this. Let's look at the top 10 holdings.
It probably gives an explanation. Tesla, which is over 400% up this year, is it any wonder with 10% stake that they're absolutely throbbing?
Hey, look at them.
Look at that market value.
Great companies.
So yes, some great ones are Roku, which I also have.
Market price $489 for Tesla. Wow. And this is pre-stock splits. Phenomenal. Look at all of them prices. What would you give to be buying them at those prices? Some of them anyway. Zillow's back down. Teladoc's not doing too great, but okay. So ARKK is a ticker symbol. What do you reckon, guys? Did we beat this one? 27th, and pull it up to roughly, say here, you would be up about 9.6%, say 9%. So not as good as I would have hoped probably at the time, but we know the crack of ARK Invest. We know a lot of these growth stocks obviously again had that huge rise up and it fell. And I mean, if you were dollar cost averaging, chances are you would have, you know, bought a lot of in these dips here and stuff. So you may have done better than that. But if you just bought then, you'd still be delighted over a year, 9%. And don't forget that, you know, the best investors in the world, Peter Lynch, Buffett, all them, and say if you're getting more than 10% a year, you're doing well. And we've well and truly beat the banks. Like I said, you're only getting 1% interest in the banks. You're getting over 10 times that in return. So it's still very good. The next one on the list then,
I recommend is Vanek Victor's Video Gaming and Esports, ticker symbol ES.
Let's go.
Only the title gives it away. It's about video gaming, which is obviously a throbbing sector. But the reason in particular that I like this one is because of the esports section of it. Recent times with the lockdowns and sports being cancelled and so on and so forth, we have found esports really taking off. The number of holdings in it is 25, and the net assets is just over 617 million. So it's not the biggest, but the yields, as you will see, is phenomenal. Esports revenue has grown and increased almost 28% yearly since 2015. So that is solid growth.
Now it's solid.
Solid as a rock.
This year has been exceptional, and obviously with people staying at home more, video gaming has prospered and throbbed. When things get better, this ETF will probably suffer.
Purely driven by NVIDIA, this.
In my opinion, 6 to 12 months of growth potentially. It's still left in this, but guys,
A bad assessment.
ETFs and trying to short trade them. They're long-term holds, and you know, this will be just one that will continue to rise every year, even if there is a bit of a pullback in the short term. But for the next 6-12 months,
Wasn't too far off on that one. You know, I did predict sort of a pullback.
10 cent, you know, there's just nice great earnings, massive. We all know the crack with 10 cents. Not going to get into that. Nvidia, huge, big chip maker. Not going to get into it with them. They are massive, and that is a good chunk of their portfolio is in 10 cent and Nvidia, nearly 20%, which is massive. I mean, Nintendo speaks for itself. AMD, I mean, that's pretty much, you're probably using a computer right now with AMD software in it. Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty games, huge again. You can nearly do a video on each one of these here. You know, that's the thing, they're so big. The Nintendo's throbbing just before the PS5 and Xbox launched. Since the PS5 and Xbox have both launched now, sales are doing really well, with PlayStation 5 completely leading the way now over the Xbox.
If you can get one.
I do think that a lot of people are moving towards the gaming PCs and stuff, so again, the likes of your AMDs, if that's the case, and we're maybe going to see down the line that maybe, you know, the next time it comes around for a PS5 in sort of 8 years' time, or the Xbox perhaps, they'll be redundant. It'll be PC gaming, and there's also the new gaming's coming out where it's just simply buying consoles and doing it over the internet. You don't actually need to buy the games, so I could definitely see the future of gaming going that way. Buying you can already buy subscriptions to the PlayStation Network, but I think it'll become even more that it'll be just with the faster internet, just be able to stream quicker. You'll be able just to pick up a controller and play a game for a subscription.
I still believe it, yeah.
That's the way I foresee it.
They were hot.
There is thousands of ETFs
Yeah,
out there.
so I'm going to stop the video there. We'll just sort of do here, because this is roughly where it is. We'll just do it even to there. You're getting, look, in and around, we're not going to play about, we'll say 17-18%. So if you had bought any of them, you would have been nearly seeing double digits across the board. You can see there ETFs, even with the high volatile. I mean, if we look at some of those ones, we can see, we know individually how some of them stocks have performed, the issues with China, so on and so forth. And I think, you know, it's just phenomenal how ETFs are managed. I still think they're great picks. Where do I see them ones going forward? I think if you hold long, especially the global clean energy now, we've got even more meat on the bones. We know about the Biden deal. Phenomenal. Can't see how that won't go well. We've just done COP26. I'll share the video there. I talked about individual stocks that might throw up in that sector, especially for people that don't have any idea to do the stock game. Pick ETFs maybe in the right sectors, and the things, the fund managers can really look after them, and you'll get great returns. So that's the video. If you have found that informative, if you like these kind of mashups, bit of a blast from the past kind of scenario, please hit like and subscribe. Let me know. I can do more of them. They're quite fun to look back on, even though they're a bit cringy for myself. But I enjoyed that one today. I'll catch you in the next video. And if you feel like supporting the channel, you feel free to buy me a coffee and get links down there for free crypto, free stocks, shares, eTorro, free trade, all of that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence.